Hello, Amanda here with Amanda Lynn, LLC. I'm here today to talk about self-actualization in a therapeutic format and also from my personal experience. Self-actualization could be locus of control, homeostasis, where are we at in the moment of just presence, mindfulness, grounding tools, groundedness. And when we say it in that way, we also say, well, how do you define these things? Feelings, intellect, thoughts, and behaviors, actions. And so in self-actualization, there are words that we can put to these things, especially with emotions, that is generally overlooked. However, one of the key secrets around self-actualization is that there are no words. And it really is being comfortable sitting in the present moment in not knowing and that unknown. So a lot of the times when people come into therapy, they have anxiety about the future, the unknown, they're going through a separation, maybe they've lost someone, and in essence, it feels like they're losing a part of themselves. Well, in actualization, that was a commitment that they made at that time to then give up a part of themselves to that. In actualization, and you can see through people's behaviors what they choose, and sometimes it's a spiritual piece, which we can always explore as well. So when it comes to defining what self-actualization is in the therapeutic process, we're getting back to these internal truths, these aha moments to be able to say, mind, body, emotions, it's all lined up. And that nervous system, the vagus nerve, says, there's relief. That makes sense. I feel lighter now. And how do we listen to these cues then to be able to not always define them, but then get back into what does it mean for me to be able to then regulate in actualization? Because as a human, a lot of our experiences or stressors or traumas come from outside of our control. They're external experiences, environmental experiences, things like that that can really leave people hurt, wounded, confused, and perplexed. And so in self-actualization, you're able to step away from that and say, where is this really coming from? Because I don't feel good. I don't feel comfortable in myself. It's causing me to have these symptoms of anxiety and I need help. What's going on? And so the self-realization of what has been happening the whole time never occurred, which is empathy for self. And thus, when something changes or something drastic happens, and that homeostasis, that self-awareness, that sense of self, of truth isn't there, if the other person or piece leaves, the person in turn in question can feel very vulnerable, lost, confused, and sometimes be left in a completely altered state of mind. So in truth, we can find self-actualization. In truth of understanding ourselves as an individual, as well as being in the world as a whole. So in the compassionate therapeutic process, we look at the individual having compassion for the self, in turn compassion for the home, the environment, the community, different levels of that, to then at the very end finalize at the end of the day, compassion for self. Do I like myself? How did I do today? Did I do something? Did I make a mistake? Do I need to be softer with myself? And then from there, we can take actions forward to then continue to move into this cognitive behavioral process, spiritual process, to then go into what do you need next. And that's the cue that we're really looking for, because guess what? It feels good. It's alignment. And that's self-actualization. So in the therapeutic world, there's also those outliers too that we all know with neurological disorders or genetic predispositions, that this can be easier or harder for others. There is a whole spectrum, and that's why it's always good to be able to ask the questions, talk about them, to be able to say, ask yourself, what do I need? And then that way everyone takes on that self-responsibility, and in turn that's giving yourself compassion. So way to go, guys. Keep up the conversations, keep up the self-compassion, and more than anything, ask yourself, do I like myself? And hopefully at the end of the day, you can give yourself the empathy and compassion needed to be able to say, I do. Even though we're all trying every day the best that we can, I do like myself. And this is what I'm going to do and what I can do moving forward to not only make myself a better person, but make this world a better place. So, and self-love and appreciation, again, all the while. So feel free to reach out in the comments with any questions or thoughts and reflection. I'll be happy to respond or take a look at that. And I wish you all the best. Stay well.